So I have to pause. Even though I'm just starting, I have to pause because sometimes you're in moments in your life and you overlook them. Like you rush through, you get to the end, or years later, it doesn't hit you what just happened. So what is about to happen is the fruition of a dream I've had for, I'm going to say almost all my life, wanting to do a show, host a show that had video elements where you could see me and see my animation of me talking about stuff, interviewing people. And this is that dream. It's the very first episode of Fabian Seh. And it's a look at what's going on in my head and coming out of my mouth. So I have like 3 or 4 episodes up that some of you might be familiar with that were just done with me holding my phone. We're stepping up the team. So welcome to Fabian Seh 2.0, 2020 and all these things. Very first episode. And this one I'm calling New Year Preements. Because you know, it's March, people. It's March. How it can be March? Wasn't January like 2 weeks ago? How can we be in March in the 3rd month of the new year? That makes absolutely no sense. But that's where we are. So I wanted to do a check-in. Where are we at? Where are pre? Where are gone? So you know, the beginning of the year is what? Resolution time. New things. I'm going to sort out my life. And some people get really bitter and salty, you know, criticizing people. Oh yeah, here they come again with their New Year's resolutions and their vision boarding, blah, 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 blah. Here's my thing, folks. If that's not for you, that's fine. Do you. If making resolutions, doing a checklist, doing a review of their year works for other folks, even if they miss up, have mishaps, don't complete the list, if it works for them, allow the people them. You do you, you do what works for you. So if you didn't do anything, that's fine. Big up yourself, bless up yourself. But if you did, let's look. So what did you do? Did you do a year in review for 2019 and say, these are the things that went well, these are the things that didn't go so well, you know, I was great with this and not so much with this? Did you do a kind of personal division versus professional, community? How did you do it? Whatever way you chose to do it, did you do some kind of review to check and see how did my 2019 go? And were you happy with the results? Not so happy, deliriously happy, or kind of in the middle? Then, what did you do for 2020? You know, 2020 was what? Plenty. And you know, 2020 vision, which is pretty much like perfect vision. People are saying, yeah, my vision's gonna be 2020 for 2020. Did you clear some ground and make some space now for your new year? So did you set some goals and intentions? And were those resolutions per se? What kind of language did you use? So I like to talk about generative language. So as opposed to, I hope I get to go to Cuba, I'm going to Cuba. So were you intentional in setting those resolutions? Did you just set some goals? And you know, goals are the bite-sized pieces, the steps towards a bigger objective, a bigger outcome. So how did you do it? And if you did it, go back and check. So sometimes we do it in January and we legit forget in the next month. What did I say I was doing in January? So did you do the goals, objectives, resolution thing? Did you do a vision board? So I actually have a vision boarding and goal setting workshop that I've been doing for the last 2 or 3 years, and it's called Seeing Things, where people come in and we actually go through the whole gamut. We do our year in review, then we do a clearing the ground, so we do a release. What are we letting go of? Who are we freeing and releasing from our life and our space? And then we say, what are we now planting? What are our intentions? And then people create a vision board, which is a pictorial representation of what they're affirming, what they're claiming, what they're working towards. And my tip is always make it as specific as possible. So if you want a particular car, a particular make, year, brand, and color, try and find the picture of the car that you want, put it on your vision board. So people, stop people, man. Idris married already, so please don't be putting Idris on your vision board. It not gonna work. Halle Berry also taken, you know, conscience go through him issues and him say, nah, look nobody. Allow the youth, make him prosper. You know, maybe Spice, maybe Grace is your thing. They're taken. So don't necessarily project on a person or a type of person. That's the other thing, but that's maybe another episode around how do we vision a partner? What does that look like? But maybe that's something that you want on your vision board that you've been thinking about. So if you did any of that, so we're now at the point of, so what now? So it's March. What have you done? Have you taken some intentional actions? Have you said, okay, I said I want these things. I said I'm shedding this behavior. I said I'm going to try and do and be better at this. But also, what do I need to make this happen? So have you drawn to yourself the people and resources that you need to make these goals and plans and your vision board come to fruition? So check. So pause and look and say, did I? Have I? Or have I just written it on a piece of paper, did a really nice, sexy, flashy vision board, but not one iota of action have I taken? And sometimes we do that. So I have people, when I see them 3 or 6 months after doing my vision board workshop, they say, I don't even know where my vision board is. They're honest. Some people say, it's rolled up right beside my dresser, gathering dust. Some people tell you it's on my wall. It's on my laptop. Some people take a picture of it and put it on their laptop as their screensaver or on their phone. There's one young man, and he was just a unique individual. He said when he wakes up, he always wakes up on his back and he lies in bed and looks up at the ceiling for a while. So guess where he put his vision board? He taped it on the ceiling over his bed. So every morning when he woke up, because he said he would lay in bed on his back looking up for a good 15-20 minutes every morning. So he looked up at his vision board first thing. He also put it on his laptop, on his phone screensaver, and he took action, and almost all of his goals and things came through. So it's not a magic thing. It's not a mystical, I'm going to say I want this and presto, it happens. It's about us showing up in our own life and taking action. So where are you? Because here's the deal. Sometimes the dream scares us. Sometimes we talk ourselves out of it. I don't deserve this. I'm not connected enough. I'm not bright enough. I don't have the connection. I don't have the money. Money is a big thing that makes people say this can never happen. But the reality is, if you're believing that, then you're kind of defeated. So Marcus Mosiah say, without confidence in self, you're twice defeated in the race of life. So you already defeat yourself before you start. So why run? Because you've already said, I can't win. So it really is about, what am I believing about myself, my intentions, my goals, and my possibilities that make me keep either following up and following through with them or not. So I want to touch on that quickly. Crucial thing. Follow up and follow through. A lot of us not so good. We're good at the talk. We're good at the big picture. We're good at the, I want this, I want this, I want this. But then now, as the Americans say, when the rubber hits the road, who am I? Who do I show up as? So am I following up and following through on the intentions I set? You want to go to the gym more. But every morning when you have the opportunity to go to the gym, you snooze 10 times. And then you end up it being too late. And you can't go to the gym, so you say, well, I'm going to be late for work, which is real. But maybe if you got up a little earlier, just like food, I like fried chicken. I am never going to stop eating fried chicken. That's not a thing. But I can eat it less though. I can take off the skin sometimes. I can drink less soda. Like for instance, Pepsi is always going to be present in my life. I just know this. But I shouldn't be drinking 5 every day. So sometimes it's small things that you can do that move you in the direction of your intention. Here's something I've learned, and it's a saying that I use a lot. What we water grows. So what are you watering in your life? What are you focusing on and committing to? What are you nurturing? Some people say, oh, I want a dog, I want a puppy. But they're like never home. The dog is gonna die. The puppy is gonna starve to death. Some people want plants. They should really get a cactus. So you have to know who you are and then adjust the behaviors to get the outcomes you want. So what are you watering? Have you been watering the vision that you say you want? Have you been watering the goals? And what does that watering look like? Time, focus, and intention. So repeat after me. Accountability. Accountability. Yes. So now that I've said all this grand stuff and ambitious stuff and earnest stuff, what am I doing to make it happen? And that's a crucial thing. So what actions am I taking? What am I doing differently? What new resources am I drawing to myself? Am I doing research? Am I asking questions? And did I create a checklist? And am I staying on point and pushing through? Because sometimes we get frustrated. Sometimes something doesn't happen as quickly as we like, so we give up. And we say, "Chuck, me can't bother. This is too hard." Get up and try again. Here's something that I've learned. Accountability groups or an accountability tribe. One of the best things I've ever done. So I had a circle of friends when I was living in New York, and we used to call ourselves the family. And I need to write a book and a few movies about the family and that period of my life. But it changed my life. It changed my complete outtake and outlook on friendship and showing up as friend and family and holding each other accountable for the things we said and did. I currently have an accountability tribe with myself and 3 women in my life. And it's the most beautiful thing. We meet sometimes formally and have like work sessions. We have a WhatsApp group. Sometimes we go out and we drink wine. So sometimes our accountability looks like, let's have some Moscato or Zinfandel or Cabernet, because that's how we live. But it really is about, what are we claiming? What are we saying about ourselves? What do we want? And we say it in the presence of someone else. We also write it down, and then we say, okay, so Fabian said he was going to do 2 drafts of a story by March. Fabian said he was going to record the first episode of Fabian Seh in 2020. Fabian, how is that going? What have you put in place? So those are the kind of questions we ask ourselves, because there's a power in a tribe holding you accountable lovingly for the things you say you want for yourself. It's not about them. It's about, you said you were going to do this. We do a thing in our tribe as well. So everybody gets a month. So let's say March is my month. And in March, the 3 people in the group with me will say, what do you need us to do for you? And it might be, go online and get some resources for me. It might be, remind me to go and look about my pension plan. Something as simple and or mundane as that. One of the members of our group, she says she's way less likely to sabotage something for one of us than herself. So she said maybe her being more accountable and present for us will help her be more accountable to herself, more present to herself, and sabotage herself less. And that's an amazing lesson. So get a tribe, and it don't have to be a big group of people, some like-minded people. Not everybody who will just co-sign and say, yeah man, you're right, when you need a little roxing up. But it'll be done with love and respect and integrity. Really, really, really important. So, we're affirming and claiming big things for 2020. It will be so if you want it to be so. It's going to take work, effort. Some things will come easier than others, but go for it. So, a saying, I have a little meme that we're going to post at the end of this video that says, we cannot, to be our better selves today, we cannot be who we were yesterday. So true. You have to show up as somebody different now. So what are you doing that's different? How are you showing up as your better self in March 2020 than you did in February, in January, in December 2019? How are you going to get the results that you want? Because guess what? Nothing is beyond you. I honestly believe that. We have the power, the creativity, and it's all in us. It's about manipulating and controlling the inner to get the results on the outer. So, I always say, New Year Preements, we are bigging up big, bold, bodacious outcomes. We're talking about living intentionally, holding ourselves accountable, making those plans and resolutions and vision boards that we did at the beginning of the year, making them work. So it's not just another exercise that we went through. So, big up on yourself. This has been episode 1 of Fabian Seh. OMG, people. This is like a real thing in the world. Woohoo! Episode 2. It's going to be a little different. So I was talking to my producer, David, and saying, we're just going to jump in and traumatize people right away. So episode 2, I'm looking at trauma in Jamaica. And there's a saying I say a lot in my workshops, that Jamaica is a nation in trauma acting like we aren't. And so I was going to do something else, but it occurred to me, you know what? I think that should be episode 2. So join me, YouTube, Fabian Seh. Big up yourself. Peace out. Blessings.